Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. We're live for Real Madrid knocking out Liverpool from the Champions League. And of course, Liverpool will no longer be able to win a trophy this season. It's going to take a miracle, Liverpool fans. I think you're better off putting it on the down low, and if it's a miracle, it's a miracle. But the reality is it's not going to happen, is it? I'm not even winding you up. I mean, you've got next to no chance. I could be trying to jinx it. I would never try and do that, but I just can't see it. I just can't see it. I really can't. I think, some things are possible, but this Real Madrid side is just so good. And I just don't think that it's a possibility for Liverpool to get anything out of this game. I might be completely wrong. I might be wrong. I can't speak. I wouldn't be able to speak if you did it. But let's have a quick look at the team news. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Brighton are playing Crystal Palace, by the way. I don't know whether it's on the telly, but Brighton are 1-0 up against Crystal Palace already with March scoring, which puts Brighton into 7th place as it stands, level on points with Liverpool and a game in hand. Could be a tough night for Liverpool. Brighton level with you with the same amount of games with the game in hand and out of the Champions League. That's the reality of what you're facing here. But there's 2 Premier League games going on tonight. Southampton against Brentford as well. But there's Champions League football, as we know. And Liverpool and Real Madrid line up like this. Courtois in goal for Real Madrid with Carvajal, Militao, Rudiger and Nacho. Modric, Camavinga and Kroos. And Valverde, Benzema and Vinicius Jr. So they're not taking it lightly, even though they're 3-0 up. And then Liverpool, Alisson, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Milner and Fabinho, Salah, Gakpo, Jota and Nunez. It's quite an attacking team. I think we'll get a good game. I do. I think we'll get a good game tonight. I do think we'll get a good game tonight. I think Liverpool have got to go for it. Sometimes, look, I think the inevitable result will be Real Madrid going through. But let me put my glasses on. Being as I've been called Joe 90 by Liam Gallagher, I feel I've got to put my glasses on. I feel quite proud of that. At least Liam Gallagher's seen me on footage and acknowledged me, even bantering me. He's a legend. He's one of my icons. I don't care whether he's a City fan or whatever. He's rattled a little bit, Ladios, but he's still a legend. There's not many legends out there, so gotta love that. And look, I think the game is over. I really do, but I do think it'll be a good game because I think Liverpool have got to be desperate. They've got to try and go and have a look at it, haven't they? And it could make for an open game. Can you say happy birthday, Oscar, from Milo? There we go. And thanks for the super chat. And I had to Google who Joe 90 is, and now I can't unsee it. Emmanuel, I'm going to do it now. I know Joe 90's got blonde hair and he wears glasses, but I think he was a sci-fi cartoon character from 1968. Oh my God. I'll have that. Everyone's Googling Joe 90. He's going to be trending. Liam Gallagher's going to make Joe 90 trend. But you know what? We were talking about this the other day. Let me know what your score predictions are for this. I think it'll probably be 2-2. I think there'll be goals in this game. I'm going to go 2-2. But look, I hope Liverpool do score the first 2 goals. It'll make it for an interesting game. I mean, with all due respect, if Liverpool come through and win this, we're in for an amazing night. But I think 2-2 is about as good as it's going to get. Liverpool aren't good in the midfield, and Real Madrid are. So I think there's Milner's playing to Zariel. I don't know whether this happens to you. It happened to everybody a couple of weeks ago. Today, recommended videos. Has anybody had the recommended video? Mark Goldbridge reveals his real name. Because every time I've logged onto YouTube today, it's been a recommended video. And I went for a walk down Nostalgia Street because I don't know why these things keep getting. A few people have had it recommended to them. Why do these old videos keep coming up? I don't know how the algorithm works. Last week somebody had it. I don't know why. I don't know why it keeps coming up. But I felt quite sad. When I watched it because that was my debut on the kickoff with Loz and Brian, and Rory was there. I think James Alcott was there. And it made me think of more innocent times because all that's gone now. And I used to really enjoy going on that. And also, I looked so much younger. I think I looked a lot younger anyway, but maybe some people disagree. But time goes by, doesn't it? Time slips away. They were good. They were good. They were good times. Yeah. Yeah, no, Mark Goldbridge is... I mean, I can't believe anybody doesn't realise that Mark Goldbridge wouldn't be a real name. I don't think there's anybody in the world called Goldbridge. It's not even a real surname. It's a made-up name because I had to do it because of my work at the time, as it says on the video. And I don't mention it as much now because I assume everybody knows it, but it's an old story. It's because new people are discovering that video, making it go viral again. I suppose you get a new wave of people, don't you, who don't realise, but yeah. And to answer the question, what does my wife call me? Well, she doesn't call me Mark. And to answer the second question, some people call me Mark and some people call me by my real name. And I basically answer to two names. It's like having a dog called Roy and Ray. No, it's not. It's like having a dog called Roy and Steve. I answer to both. I can't speak another language, but I can answer to two names. So, yeah. And I do like my real name, Chris, but I don't feel... I probably get called Mark 80% of my life and 20% my real name, so I don't care. But a bit like Elton John, that's not his real name. I don't want to blow anybody's mind away, but there we go. Not that I want to be likened to Elton John. We wear glasses and that's about it. There's no other similarities. I'm not a great singer-songwriter, and I don't do the other stuff. But I respect, everybody is entitled. We live in that world, and everybody is welcome. Mark, what's going to happen tonight? I just don't see it. I just can't see it. I've got to be fair to Liverpool here, and say that to win in Madrid would be exceptional. You have to win by 3 goals, 4 goals to go through, or penalties, but you've got to beat them by 3 goals over 120 minutes. I can't see that. I just can't see it happening. I think, look, if I was... I think the question is, we can all have an opinion, but if you're in this situation, come on the mighty Red, says Ian of Liverpool. Look, if Liverpool do it, I'll applaud them. Well, I won't. But I will acknowledge and respect it because I think it's unbelievable. But I think to do it in... How would you go about doing it, I suppose, is the question. And to which the answer for me would be, if I had to manage a team that's going away to a brilliant team like Real Madrid and I'm 3-0 down, you've got to do it. Like, it's not like Jurgen Klopp's got no choice. He's got to do it. And he certainly doesn't want to get humiliated. Do you go into the game with that mentality of let's just not get humiliated and make sure we get a draw? Or do you actually try and win it? And I think if I was trying to win it, I'd be saying to them, look, try and get somebody sent off. If we can get them down to 10 men, maybe we've got a chance. Because basically what we want to do is just attack. And they're good enough, they're at home to attack us. So, maybe if there's a red card for Real Madrid, but even that's going to be difficult when you're the away team. This game would be hard enough if they were playing Benfica and Benfica had caught them on a bad day and you were going to Benfica trying to win 3-0. You're going to Real Madrid, the best team in the world, trying to beat them 3-0 by 3 goals in their own backyard. What as a percentage, what would you put the chances of Liverpool winning by 3 goals? I would put it down as low as 2%. I think if you played this game 100 times, I don't think they would beat them by 3 goals more than twice. That's the enormity of the job that Liverpool face tonight. So we will see what happens. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right hand corner to do it. You're all very, very welcome. But they've got to go for it, Liverpool. Sorry, I was just reading something there. Rude of me. Rude of me. I've lost my live chat. I'm nothing without my chat. I've had a super chat coming in. Napoli, Man City, Bayern and Madrid in the semi-finals, says Lenny. Well, I'd love Man City to get knocked out. What team do you want to win the Champions League, says Ivan. I would say I don't really care who wins it. In order of teams I'd like to win it other than Man City, basically everybody who's left, even Liverpool. I'd like to see Napoli win it. If it's not Napoli, I'd like to see Bayern win it. I'd love it. I'd love Potter to win it. I think that would be hilarious. I mean, it's never going to happen, but I'd love it if Potter won it. I mean, I don't want him to. I don't want them to win it ahead of Bayern or Napoli. But Graham Souness, they're all steady eddies, says Tumbleweed. Thanks for the super chat there. Is it a difficult game for Real Madrid to play? No, not really. I think it's all about Benzema's miles offside here. Good save by Alisson, but he's miles offside. Through 1-on-1. I think Real Madrid will want to send a message here. I think they'll want to win, and comfortably. Mark, why do you hate Man City so much? I don't hate Man City. I just find them very hard to watch at the moment because I just really want all those charges to either be found not guilty or guilty so we can all move on from it. But it's not. I don't think it's. It's a little bit like having someone come round for tea when they're facing 99 charges of burglary. You're never going to take your eyes off them, are you? I'm going to the toilet. I'll come with you, and not because I'm a weirdo, because I don't fancy you nicking my watch or something like that. I just want it to get resolved. I don't hate anybody, Aman. So you don't know me. You know nothing about me, and I don't hate people. So I don't hate Man City. I don't hate Arsenal. I don't hate Marmite. I don't live a life of hate. And I would advise anybody else not to live a life of hate because all you're doing is eating yourself up there. Which is something I heard of a guy who took a couple of ribs out to try and do that, but ultimately it's a bad thing. I don't think foreign fans understand why everyone hates Man City so much as local shopkeeper. That's a bit. I wouldn't say anything like that. That's a bit anti. We can't be. We're not like that. We're not like that. Everybody is a football fan. If you don't have the global fan base, you don't have the wealth. Simple as that. Madrid have started off really well here, though, moving the ball around very nicely. And I think Liverpool are going to struggle. Is top four in danger for United, says Chris. Don't think so. No hate bridge, says TTV videos. Thank you very much. Are you bitter about Man City? We will do some polls tonight. No, I mean, I think, to be honest, when people say cry more or bitter, it's because they're showing off their own insensitive. I mean, that's such a rubbish comeback, isn't it? Cry more or bitter, and I've used it, and I use it because I haven't really got anything else to say. I think you've hit a nerve when you say crime when someone's coming back with cry more or bitter. To be honest, I've done my content on Man City. I'm comfortable with it. If they get found guilty, I don't think that they should give their titles back. A lot of people do. I don't. I don't want the Aguero title back because it's got that moment. I lived it for years. I lived it those minutes. It's an iconic moment in football, and iconic moments in football aren't always nice moments in football. It was horrible, but I wouldn't take that title back because nothing can take that title back. If they get found guilty of anything, then there needs to be a punishment, but I wouldn't want the titles back. I know they did that with Juventus, and I don't know how. Was it AC Milan ended up with one? I wouldn't want that title back just to add a number. Like, the whole point of all these titles that we won in the Premier League is that we enjoyed them. Do you think Bayern Munich would want the 99 European Cup final back if we were found out for cheating? I mean, it just wouldn't feel the same, would it? Will the U and United stand be in the US this summer, says Chris? We are going to be in, United. We assume United are going to be in America this summer, so yes. Thank you for everything you do, Mark. Bringing happiness to many people all over the world. Love from Australia, says Ben Allen. Thank you very much. Thanks for that. Oh, Salah's in here. He slips it into Nunez. He might get a shot off. He does. Saved with the feet. Courtois. Well, it's the first chance, and it's fell to Liverpool, apart from the chance that Benzema had when he was offside. Straight at the keeper. You'd expect him to save it. Foul by Trent here. Could have got a yellow card there. Don't think he did. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Did you end up thinking of a name for your show, says Julian? Oh, podcast. Formulating a lot of good ideas, thinking it through. You'll be the first to know when it comes out. Thank you for the watch along, Mark. Not just this one, but the whole concept of the watch along, says Amit. Oh, it's nice that. Oh, lovely. Oh, it didn't work. Valverde shoots wide. We're definitely going to do a podcast, and we're definitely working on some ideas. Football for fun, says Andy. That's a bit of a crap name, Andy. Sorry to throw you under the bus there, but. I don't think football for fun sounds like the sort of game Seb would play at school. Instead of giving their trophy to the second team that year, should just be declared as no champions. That way it will always stick out and people will know. Average show. Yeah, it's interesting. Here we go. Oh, good cutback, but Milner's there to put it out for a corner. Liverpool open there, wide open. Lil Chris says Madrid almost scores. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, because we're really close to 925,000. You can see in the top right-hand corner. Only 200 away. So get involved with That's Football. You're all very welcome. Daily debatable content. I normally upload like a 10-minute video every day, and then we do a few watch-alongs as well. This weekend looks crap, by the way, for watch-alongs. I don't even know if we're going to do a That's Football watch-along this weekend. It's really slim pickings. Here's Real Madrid. Cross comes in. They're such a good team, aren't they, Madrid? I mean, I was on a show last week with Thogden and we were doing Champions League predictions, and he said, I think Liverpool can go there and win. I said, mate, you've got a lot to learn. And it's not just an age thing. Have you watched Liverpool this year, and do you know how good Real Madrid are? Especially in the Champions League. Real Madrid can be absolutely rubbish. But in the Champions League, knocking them out of the Champions League, it's like impossible mission. Did you watch Gary Neville overlap with Seferin? Nah. It's hard to watch somebody who hates you, Jay. And Madrid only need one goal, I think, says Jordan. Please get Sean Dyche on your podcast, says Alex. I'm looking forward to doing it. We've got some good ideas for it. I think it'll work really well. But I'll let you know. Nigel Jones, thanks for joining the Members Club. Appreciate that. Do Chelsea Everton, says Luke. Oh, yeah. Let's have a look what we've got at the weekend. Nothing ever lasts forever. So, there's no half... I hate it when there's no half-12 kickoff. There's no half-12 kickoff on Saturday. So, you've got Villa Bournemouth at 3, Brentford Leicester at 3, Southampton Spurs at 3, Wolves Leeds at 3, Chelsea Everton at 5:30. Man City, Burnley at 7:45. Oh my God. I hate... Oh no, 6:45 that is, sorry. I thought it was going to be I thought it was 7:45. 7:45. That's not too bad. Putting Man City on at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night. No one's watching that. Man City, Burnley will be quite an interesting game at 7:45. I mean, Man City will win. But... Oh, good shot from distance by Cruz, straight at Alisson. Sunday, it's obviously Arsenal Palace in the Premier League at 2. Easy home win there, I think, for Arsenal. And then you've got Man United at R4 against Fulham, Brighton home to Grimsby, Sheffield United. It's a bit of a shitty weekend, really. Considering it's the last weekend before the international break, it's a bit crap. Could have been better. When are England playing? I don't know when England are playing, actually. Playing Thursday night? Yeah, Italy on Thursday night. Who gives a shit about that? Who cares? Salah puts a cross in. Goes wide. And they're playing on the Sunday as well. I've got no interest. I'm not doing England watch-alongs. Forget about it. I can't believe. I can't speak. I can't believe Southgate's still in a job. I mean, the World Cup was it for me, and I can't believe he's still there. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Mark, if United beat Fulham this Sunday, does Casemiro only miss 2 Premier League games along with another FA Cup? Says Andy and Bruno. I don't know. Depends when the FA Cup is. No, he will miss. He will 100% miss. Let's just see what happens with this corner for Liverpool. 12 minutes gone already. Cross comes in. Van Dijk, Canate, cleared away. Man United play 3 Premier League games after the international break. It's a 2v2 here. It's a good ball. This could be it. Benzema. Oh, he's cocked it up. United play 3 games after the international break. We've got Newcastle away, and then Everton and Brentford at home. So they'll miss all 3 of those. Good tackle by Gakpo. Wasn't a lot. Benzema could have done better than that. How chuffed are you with 2 channels and 2.5 million subs, says Ray. It's not about how big it is. Cross comes in. Rudiger. That's it. Oh, what a save by Alisson. How's he missed? Watch this back. Rudiger heads it to the back post. Vinicius Jr.'s got a tap in on the back post, literally about a yard out. Alisson just jumps in the air and it hits his hand. He doesn't know much about it, but that's good goalkeeping. What a save, says Cool Sunny 1. We haven't seen a replay of it yet. Mark, watch the Rangers game at 12:30 on Saturday, says Scott. Who are they playing? I've played the game. Just 5 says Liverpool are getting cooked here. Well, as I said, I mean, anybody who thought Liverpool were going to come here and win by 3 goals would do well to get a point. I think it'd be a good result for Liverpool to get a point. Nice ball here. Nunez, he won't get there. Rudiger does. Rudiger, I mean, Chelsea must miss Rudiger. He's a right shithouse, isn't he? But you'd want him in your team. I know what I said. I mean, like, if Liverpool get a point, or I mean a draw, that's at least some sort of progress for them. But Real Madrid is so good. I can't believe people think that Liverpool would come here and win by 3 goals. That's what I mean. 2% chance of that happening. They do well to win here. I still think Liverpool will get top 4 though. I still think they'll do it. It's harder now, but I still think they'll do it. They've got a ridiculous 3 games to come though. I think they got Man City away, Chelsea and Arsenal at home. Mark, how good was McManaman? He played for Madrid, says Treble Chat. I mean, I don't like Liverpool, but McManaman was a good player. He had a weird career, McManaman, because it was like, it didn't seem to be as long as it should have been. That's what she said. I mean, you know, time goes by, doesn't it? And Konate's just been caught Benzema here. I don't know whether McManaman was at the top for long. He had a good... I mean, that would be a yellow card in the Prem. I mean, that's basically what Casemiro got sent off for. It's mad, isn't it? I've just seen 2 tackles there, very similar to Casemiro's. One by Rudiger and one by Konate. Not even a... One wasn't even a foul, and the other one's not even a yellow card. Doesn't matter. So let's stop talking about it. But... yeah, I can't remember how... McManaman went to Real Madrid and he won the Champions League, and he was very good at Liverpool, but I don't know whether he had like 10 years at the top. What was McManaman's attributes, says Black? He's a very good dribbler of the ball. Trent's just got skinned again by Vinicius Jr. Defensively... I mean, offensively, Trent Alexander-Arnold is like Roberto Carlos going forward. Fabinho. Oh, what a ball that is by Fabinho. Back on the halfway line now. Now here's Salah down the right-hand side. Just cut that back. Chance for Jota. Terrible. Terrible connection. That could have been a... Well, you've got to beat the keeper first, but it could have been a better chance. Where are the stats, Mark? Oh, it's not rolling round, is it? Yeah, it is. What's going on? Oh. I'm on the wrong bit. Sorry, mate. Sorry, everyone. They are there. Stats carousel's up and running. Sorry about that. Let me get the stats for you. There it is. Don't forget our... Stats Carousel is sponsored by OneFootball. You can download it for free. Links in the video description, or you can scan the QR code in the top left-hand corner. Free to download. Get all your latest breaking football news, transfer news, etc. through the OneFootball app. Also, what I really like about the OneFootball app is when it comes to stats, they can individualise the players as well. So you can individualise the stats. Barmer's just gifted 20 memberships there. You're a legend, mate. Thank you very much. But yeah, you can. It will tell you how each individual player is doing well in relation to passes, etc. So check it out. Barmer with the chat. Oh, we've hit the bar. Camavinga. Bar. Nah, it didn't work. He's hit it from... God, he's hit that from 30 yards out. Lovely. I think Alisson might even tip that onto the bar, you know. I'm going to give him a tip. Don't eat yellow snow. Anthony Taylor is the ref in Napoli game, I know. Hi, Mark. Please can be unblocked on United Stand. I'm sorry my deep breath joke annoyed you. I'd laugh at your reaction to the comment the day before, says Leroy. Sorry, Leroy. I can't do that at the moment. He didn't touch it onto the bar, says Loic. All right, we can't give him any tip. I thought he did tip it onto the bar, but, you know, apparently he didn't. Yeah, I was talking about Trent, weren't we? Trent Alexander-Arnold getting skins. He's just been bypassed again by Benzema there. I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold going forward, maybe not this season, but going forward when he was on his game, you could argue that. I mean, obviously Roberto Carlos was brilliant, but the comparison I would use with Trent Alexander-Arnold is going forward at his best. He's like Roberto Carlos. Defensively, he's like Robert De Niro. An actor. He's no good. He's no good defensively, is he? I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. But that's the wrong thing. You talking to me? Are you talking to me? Never do that again. No, he's crap. He's crap defensively. Like, he's really crap. Oh, what a shot by Modric as well. They're so good. They're so good. I want to see that again. Show me the replay of this. Modric, bang. Oh, I tell you what, you'd want that to go in. That is a hell of a half volley, that. If that had gone in, Alisson ain't saving it. That would have been one of the goals of the season. Love your content, Mark, says Shocks. Thank you very much. I'm Ronnie Pickering, says James Wood. I'm Ronnie Pickering. That was the technique on that volley. If that had gone in, it would have broke the net. I wish that had gone in. I mean, I mean, the game would be over, but just wish it had gone in because you love to see great goals. There's a gap. Maybe 2 years ago, Liverpool were better than Madrid. Madrid had stopped, but Madrid would probably still beat them in the Champions League. To be fair, they are the Champions League, aren't they, Madrid? But there's a gap this year. Hi Mark, love the Eric Ten Hag hoodie, bro. Just got it, says Shaunuk. Looking forward to having many pints with you in New York this summer during the tour, says Shaunuk. Hey mate, if Man United are on tour in New York, I'm definitely doing that bit. Nearly watched Ronnie Pickering again today, says Carlisle. It's always worth a watch. It's always worth a watch. Mark, I've just started listening to Oasis, which is the better album, definitely a maybe, or What's the Story, Morning Glory. Definitely maybe's better. I've got to say I love the Master Plan as an album because it's got all the B-sides on it. I haven't played the game, but would Trent in the midfield be better than being a right back, says Oliver McDonough. He's so good with his passing, but defending he looks legless. I don't know with Trent. A lot of people, look at the technique on that volley by Modric. Oh, it just needed to go in. Oh, shaved the bar, it did. Manscaped. I don't know what you do with Trent. I mean, everyone says maybe he should play right wing. Is he good enough at right wing? What's your favourite snack to have with whiskey, says Shaunuk. I haven't had a whiskey in ages. Whiskey's quite a dominator of the palate. I don't know, is there a good snack to have with whiskey? It's a very strong flavour. I'm not so sure that it's a snacks thing. Maybe some nuts. Roasted peanuts. Barmer's just gifted 20 more. He's on a big one tonight. Barmer, thanks very much for that. Legend. Cheese and whiskey. Oh, God. Why not have jelly and ice cream and just kill it completely? Why would you put Trent at CDM? He can't defend at right back. CDM is probably one of the most important places to be able to play as a defender. Here's Vinicius Junior. Oh, look at the pace that he got past Canate then. Easy work. A cigar and whiskey is traditionally the best thing, yeah, but I'm not condoning smoking. See you in London on the 29th, says Situ. Yep, looking forward to it, mate. And your thoughts on Napoli and Frankfurt? Riot, says Abra. Don't know anything about it. Don't know anything about it. I'm Ronnie Pickering. Hey, Mark, how you doing? How long is Garnacho out for, says Sleep Tight. I don't know, a few weeks, apparently. Probably back in May. I think if Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to progress anywhere up the pitch, it'll have to be right midfield. Here he is with a cross. It's not a bad one. And he did find the header Gakpo, who didn't really get any connection on it. I'll tell you what, that tackle there, did you see that one on Nunez by, was it Nacho? That's way, 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 way worse than what Casemiro did and got a red card for. You see it? Absolutely wild studs up. Wild studs up. If you're a Liverpool fan, make it make sense. You know, either you've been robbed of a red card or that Casemiro one looks ridiculous. Have you seen it? He's literally got his foot in the air like that, waving it around with his studs. I don't think it is a red card. That's my whole point. I don't think Casemiro's was either. I just think it's just poor officiating, isn't it? Prince Genius says he didn't even catch him. Mate, you need to go to sleep, mate. Telling me to go to sleep. You need to go to sleep, mate. On your own by the sounds of it. With banter like that. You don't have to catch somebody for it to be reckless, you know. Apologies for the idiots in the chat. There's always a few. I don't know why I apologise for them. But, make a bit more bloody noise. Why aren't you? Oh. Here we go. Thank you very much. I will do a draw for the Champions League watch-along on Friday, yes. 11 o'clock in the morning. So, Man City are in it and Inter so far. Oh no, Chelsea are in it, of course, last week. But Chelsea, yeah. Anybody can get anybody at that point. You could get Man City against Chelsea. A foul on Salah, but it's near the halfway line. Can you do some keepy-ups? I'm very reluctant to do... I'll do some at half-time. I'm very reluctant to do keep-ups now because I did do 100 on screen and it's very difficult to do that in such a confined space. I mean, I do it every day for, you know, in the garden. But, yeah, we will do a draw for the watch-alongs. Salah with the cross, headed away. I keep thinking that's a running track behind the pitch. And then I think those lanes are really wrong. But it's not. It's just some flags. What are they doing with that running track? Do 100 press-ups. How would I do that? I could say I was doing them, but I'd be on the floor. You wouldn't be able to see it. I'd just go 1, 2. Sebastian says, do you think Chelsea have got any realistic chances of winning the Champions League, or is that too ambitious? Anybody can do anything in football. We've seen Liverpool win the Champions League before. It's half-time between Brighton and Crystal Palace. It's 1-0, by the way. It's also 1-0 to Brentford away to Southampton at half-time. That'd be a horrible loss for Southampton if that happens. They need to win those sort of games. Do I think Chelsea could win the Champions League? Well, they've got the players to do it. It's not impossible. But I don't think they've got the continuity, consistency. I think Chelsea are very much a work in progress, in my opinion. So I don't think they can. But anything is possible. What 2 players from Madrid would you take at United, says Ben Allen? Good point. Thanks for the super chat. Well, Man United need a striker and we need a midfielder. So my initial reaction would be to say we need Nunez with a header straight at the keeper there. My initial reaction would be to say, yeah, let's go and get... let's take Camavinga and Benzema. But, on the other hand, Vinicius Jr. wouldn't be a bad player to sign, would he? Valverde wouldn't be a bad player to get. Rudiger wouldn't be a bad player to have as another centre-back. But I'd quite like Camavinga, if I'm being completely honest. Talking of which, he's on the bus. He's on the go. What's your starting 11 for United when the squad is fully available for the season? Says Anup. I don't really want to answer that, Anup. It's not the United stand. With how Erik Ten Hag wanted to play Martial on pre-season, is Osman the better signing? Says James. Yeah, I don't want it to turn into the United stand. But what I will say is that I think Osman is going to be a player that, if he is going to move this summer, there's going to be a lot of competition, because I think somebody like Real Madrid might look at him. Chelsea will certainly be looking at a striker. PSG might look at a striker. So I tell you what, I'd be very surprised if Osman went to PSG. He's played in the French league. Maybe PSG is a massive club that's in the Champions League, but I'd be very surprised if he went there. I think it's the Premier League that he'll come to. I think it'll be between Man United and Chelsea, if I'm being honest. Here's Nunez. Good shot. Ooh, good save by Courtois. Decent shot by Nunez. What would my starting 11 be for United if everyone was fit? De Gea, Delo, Luke Shaw, Varane, Martinez, Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno, Rashford, Martial, and Anthony, probably. Barmer's just gifted 50 memberships. I don't know what he's on. Barmer, we're not even getting any goals. It's not 3-0. You're a bloody legend, mate. What's he doing? You should walk out to a Blur song for the Dublin show, says Globe. Why Blur? You'll all be bloody members at this point. Barmer's on one. Mark, it's Paddy's Day on Friday, says great. I know. I wish I was over there for it. I mean, God, it's day off. It's a day off, isn't it? That's always one of the things I loved when I lived in Ireland. Is you get the bank holiday for St Patrick's Day as well. Even if it's like a Wednesday, you get the day off. You've got to book the day off after. Most important day to be off is the day after Patrick's Day. St Patrick's Day. Here's Robertson coming down the left-hand side. I'll tell you what. He was sliding in there and Camavinga just jumped over. Chelsea signed a top striker in Nkunku, says Treble Champ. Yeah, but I still think that, I know a lot about Nkunku because we were looking at him for United back in the Ranić era. Here's Vinicius Jr. Skips past Trent and gets a shot off. See, that's the thing I just wouldn't like about Trent as a right back, is that he doesn't stop the winger getting a shot off. Yeah, going back to Nkunku though, I think he's a good player. I'm not sure he's an out-and-out number 9. Again, I feel he might be used as that, but I feel Nkunku maybe he is going to play as a number 9 because God knows what, you can't use him as another attacking midfielder. You've got too many. Now here's a chance for Gakpo. Great save by the keeper. Well, it's probably straight at him, but it's a good shot. Kolo Muani, cheaper and multifunctional, unlike Osman, says Tony Okafor. There you go. Is he the guy who plays for Frankfurt? Or am I mixing up with someone else? Well, Liverpool aren't going to win this game by 3 goals. It's going to take a bloody miracle, but they're probably pretty happy with what's going on at the moment. Barmer's the king of the chat. He's done a great job. Do I think Burnley will do well in the Prem next season? Yes. I think if you come up with the right principles, you can stay in that league. You look at Brighton, you look at Brentford. These teams are, you've got to have some quality, but I don't see Burnley being a favourite to go down. Oh, that's a penalty. Oh, it's offside. Oh, tell you what, that would have been a moment. It's a good job Jota's offside, because he was fouled in the box, but it won't be a penalty because he was offside. Can we do some polls, says Ahmed? You give me some polls, I'll do them. Ashton says, any one player at Man United, who would it be? What? To do what? Cut your grass? Score a goal? Score a penalty? Marry your mum? I don't know. Well, it's not a penalty, Logan, because it was offside. Top 8 90s movies poll. We're not doing that, Lee. We're not doing that, Lee. Hi, Mark. Managed to meet Adam and Beth at Old Trafford on Sunday. Lovely people and very friendly. Appreciate the hard work, says Cathal. Thank you very much for your super chat there, pal. Glad you enjoyed it. Best captains in the Premier League poll. I could do that, but anything that's got Man United in it tends to win. So Bruno will win and everyone will be going mad. Like, the best captain in the Premier League this season is Odegaard. Like, I think he's massively underrated as a captain, because Arsenal have shown a real determination, grit, bounce back ability, fluidity, chemistry, and it's been going on all season. I mean, there was some games at the start of the season where they might be losing at half time at the Emirates, or they've had to come back and win it in the second half. I think Fulham at home rings a bell, where they won that one late, or they were losing or something. But they've shown character in games throughout the season, and to do that, you've got to have a leader. And Odegaard has done that, and he's very young. I also think he's been a fantastic player for them. So I think Odegaard is the best captain in the Premier League at the moment. I mean, look, I said it on Twitter earlier. I don't know who you'd have as Player of the Year. It's very hard to look away from Erling Haaland because of the amount of goals he's scored. But I do think there is a handicap to that, in the sense that he's playing for Man City. You're going to get a lot of chances. I'm not saying Harry Kane would score more, but he would score a lot at Man City. But my vote for Player of the Year is Odegaard. I've always said that. I think there's been some really good candidates. Marcus Rashford's been mentioned, but even Saka at Arsenal's been mentioned. But I think he's had a great year. We all absolutely love Liverpool, right? Says Big Zed. Oh, yeah. And Mark, where do Modric and Kroos rate among Madrid's best ever midfield? Says TJ. Well, I think you make a great point, because where will history rank Kroos, Casemiro and Modric? I don't think that history will rank them as high as Busquets, Xavi and Iniesta. And yet, you could argue it's a more modern, balanced midfield three that has... Haven't they won 4 Champions Leagues together? In different eras against different types of teams. I mean, Busquets, Xavi and Iniesta were unbelievable. Unbelievably one-dimensional, maybe. They played a certain brand of football. I think Modric, Kroos and Casemiro, I'd pick them. It's a bit like picking Ronaldo, prime Ronaldo over prime Messi, I agree. But I just like the balance of those three a lot more. Best Champions League final, Liverpool AC Milan or United Bayern or United Chelsea, says Ray. Well, I'm not going to pick Liverpool AC Milan, am I? Oh, I loved it when the Scousers basically were not going to win and then they did. Oh, it was much better than 99. Best one's 99 for me. Yeah, we're not doing Messi versus Ronaldo, by the way. We're talking about midfields. Might be an irrelevant question, but do you think Conte would have done better at United than he did at Spurs? Says Shahin. I would have took Conte in a heartbeat when it was instead of Solskjaer. Yeah, 100%. But it's hard to know what would have happened because, you know, he would have had a... You know, look at how frustrated he gets with Daniel Levy. Imagine what it would have been like with the Glazers. 0-0 here. 4 minutes to go to half time. I mean, let's just have a quick look at the stats, really, at half time here. It's not half time yet, but more or less 50-50 possession. 4 shots on target. It's been a good... You know what? I wanted to check the stats there because it has been a good game. We've had 4 shots on target each. It's been quite an open game. It's quite surprising that it's 0-0. A couple of good saves from the keeper, a couple of unlucky shots, certainly Modric. But it's been quite open. Who do you think is going to finish bottom in the Prem this season? I think it's going to be Southampton or Bournemouth. Best Premier League icons, says Legacy. Hi Mark, did you see Rio said he'd rather have Rice over De Jong at United? What do you think of that? Wow. Genius in your feet doesn't mean genius in your head. I'm not saying he was a genius with the feet either, by the way, but I mean, Rice over De Jong is a little bit like Martinez isn't going to succeed because he's 5'10". It's ridiculous. It's like saying Rashford over Mbappe. Rashford's really good. Rice is really good, but De Jong and Mbappe are better. Like, doesn't mean Rice is not a good player, but he ain't as good as Frankie De Jong. It's ridiculous. I'd rather take a West Ham midfielder with potential over one of the best midfielders in the world. Yeah, it's not. And also, the worst bit about that is our manager worships Frankie De Jong. But I'd rather have Rice over De Jong. It's just illogical. It's English bias in a sandwich with a cherry on top and a candle. City get relegated if Haaland was left back. Kevin De Bruyne centre back. Manchester United. What are we talking about? Mark, is Man United being dragged out of top 4? Only 6 points off 5th place and no Casemiro for 4 games, says James. Who knows? Freak Show says Kroos, Modric and Casemiro got ran over versus Frankie, Xavi and Pedri and lost 4-0 at home. No chance they'd be better than Iniesta, Xavi and Busquets, says Freak Show. You're not a freak show. You're a stupid show. Nemanja Vidic got run over by Torres at Old Trafford when he scored a hat-trick and we lost. Still one of the best centre-backs we've ever had. I mean... So basically what you're saying is Casemiro, Modric and Kroos had a bad game, so the shit. Yeah, I think, what is it? Class is permanent. Form is temporary. Marcus says, this ref is way better than last Man United game. It's about the players and not an egotistical ref. Game is flowing, says Marcus S. Please could you wish Freddie good luck in his PA exam tomorrow. Love from his mum and bro, says Sky. There you go. Good luck, Freddie, in your PE exam. What do you do in a PE exam? Run around the block? 20 press-ups? I bet you have to do a written thing, don't you? 2 minutes to go to half-time. Probably do some keep-ups. See how many I can do. City win Champions League or FA Cup final against. Choose one. What? Abra City win the Champions League or FA Cup final against us, choose one. As long as they don't do a triple, I couldn't really give a shit. They're going to win. Look, they're going to win the Champions League at some point. Who, in your opinion, was Man United's most overrated player, says Bradley? I'd have to think about that. Good play by Real Madrid here. Here's Benzema. Keeper ends up with it. Ritz, thank you very much for subscribing. And Goals for George says, Valverde is a freak of nature. What an engine he has. And he can play anywhere. Well, with it, he can't play in goal, but he can play anywhere in the midfield. Ridiculous engine. I mean, just track him there. He's the right winger, and he basically ends up running into the CDM position. Best ever Champions League goal. Final. You know what? You know the one that comes out? It's Gareth Bale, the overhead kick. The overhead kick always comes out for me. Osman scored again. 1-0 to Napoli. Thanks, chat. Was that Gareth Bale goal against Atletico Madrid? No, but the overhead kick, was that against Atletico Madrid? Or did he do the overhead goal against Liverpool? It was against Liverpool. I remember him scoring. I remember Bale scoring against Atletico Madrid, and I thought, I was really pleased for him, but then it didn't end up being the winner. Chandler says, I'm loving the fact that Liverpool are apparently going to come back from this. Well, we're never going to come back from it because they're not the better team. They're Real Madrid are, and the scary thing is that I think Real Madrid are playing within themselves. They're probably in gear 4 when they've got a gear to go, and I think Liverpool are playing a little bit hesitant because they don't want to get smacked up either. I mean, Liverpool are not capable of turning a game like round like this. I mean, let's be completely blunt, and Liverpool fans know it themselves. Liverpool of a couple of years ago, or even last season, might be able to go to the Bernabeu and win. And, you know, on a certain day, if things went right, maybe they do win 3-0. But this season, they ain't good enough to do it. You know, Liverpool are where they are. They're not in the top 4 in the Prem. This is Real Madrid, who are probably the favourites to win the Champions League, against a Liverpool side that's, you know, they're not in danger of not being a big team anymore. They've got to go through transition, but they're not. They're not going to the Bernabeu and winning 3-0. It's not happening. Hi Mark, what are your favourite top 3 favourite Beatles songs? I'm not a big fan of the Beatles. A bit overrated, I think. Probably in the minority there, but I think the Beatles are a bit overrated. What was the last good song they did? Not done anything for ages. They fell off. Blaze Wayne says, Madrid have had an endless cycle from experience in the Champions League. It's ingrained in that football club, the Champions League. That's one thing I was going to say, actually. When the Super League was going to happen, one of the things that really got me, and I think it got Liverpool fans as well, was that, and for Liverpool it's even more because they've won more, but the Super League was all about stopping the Champions League. Your domestic league was going to carry on, but the Super League was going to replace the Champions League. And, you know, I never want to know about that. But, it, you know, at the time, it got me, you know, it really grabbed me. And I think it grabbed a lot of fans because, you know, the reason I support Man United is because of the Busby Babes. And my granddad loved them. And, you know, he's no longer with us. And if he'd known, I'm glad he didn't know, that, you know, football was trying to bin off the European Cup for something that would be nothing like the European Cup. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And, you know, I think a lot of United fans and Liverpool fans were disgusted that they were asking us to go into Super League. And our owners were, you know, like the Glazers were looking to take Man United into the Super League, knowing that our football club is intrinsically linked with the European Cup. we had a team that, flew back from a European Cup game and some of them never came home. So, we might not have won as many European Cups as Liverpool, but the European Cup is massively important to Man United, and going into the Super League would mean the end of the European Cup. But what baffled me, and it just shows you how much money motivates people, is that Real Madrid and Perez were massively about the Super League, and yet they are the club that's won more European Cups than anyone, and they would basically be bidding it off. I don't get that, because they are the European Cup, and they were looking to bin it off. Masood says the Beatles broke up. When? Beatles broke up when? Perez. That just shows you how desperate Real Madrid are for money, because let's go in the Super League and make a load of money and turn our back on the European Cup. And I know he was on about the carryover, but the Super League ain't the European Cup. I love the European Cup. I don't even like the new format of the Champions League. I think it's crap. I mean, they're basically doing a mini league for that, aren't they? I think it's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe. Mark, looking forward to Tuesday next week in Dublin, says James. Yep, looking forward to it, mate. Can't wait. They broke, that's why they go looking for good talent, says Neng. And Mark, any new updates on the Barca corruption? No, I don't know. It's sad that we've got all this suspicion of corruption in football, isn't it? I don't know whether Barcelona have paid referees, and I don't know whether Man City have cooked the books. But it's not good. It's not a good look. This is the trouble when you're in a very competitive environment. People will look for a different angle, won't they? And sometimes they'll cross the line. Do you like porridge? I love it. I have it every morning, Jay. Love porridge. Mark, which transfer to Real was more of a devastating for you? Van Nistelrooy, Beckham or Ronaldo? Well, Van Nistelrooy would be last. I like Van Nistelrooy, but nothing can compare. Nothing compares. Nothing compares to Beckham and Ronaldo going. I'd say Ronaldo probably hurt more at the time because I didn't think he was going to go. He'd literally done an interview 2 days before with Sky saying he wasn't going to leave, and then he left. Whereas with Beckham, we knew it was coming for a while. There was a fallout with Beckham and Sir Alex, and it was you had more time to get used to it. But they were both hard to take. Do you like cycling, Mark? I like it better than running. I find running boring. Really boring. What are your views on baked beans? Says W. I like baked beans, but they don't like me. I hadn't had any baked beans for about a week. I had some at lunchtime, and God, I got gas. I got myself gas. Yeah, it's really windy in this room. But I do like baked beans, but they really disagree with me. Too much fibre in it. So I think I'll have to get rid of it. Beckham's one of my favourite players. I love David Beckham. I don't know whether I'd ever like to meet David Beckham. There's few players I'd like. There are a few players I'd like to meet, but I don't think I'd like to meet David Beckham because I've met a few footballers and it's really disappointing. I said it to Ben Foster. It's a shame you weren't that good because you're such a nice guy. Like if you were like a really good player, you'd have the perfect combination. But he took it as a joke. I wasn't joking, but you can take it as banter if you like. But I think with Beckham, I probably wouldn't like to meet Beckham because what if he's a bit arrogant? And he could be. When I was a kid, Beckham was like coming onto the scene. He used to walk around with lovely hair and he was a model. So everyone was everyone was telling him he was great. He's had 40 years of everyone telling him how great he is. The chances of him being down-to-earth, nice guy could be slim. It might be true, but I don't think I loved Beckham as a player. I loved his career. I loved what he did. So I don't know whether I'd like to meet him because maybe, I don't want that ruined. They always say don't meet your heroes, don't they? So I don't want that to be ruined. Hi Mark, what's your thoughts on new competition FIFA Super Club by 2024 with Chelsea qualifying on Sky Sport News yesterday? I don't know what that's all about, Allah. What a player Vinny is. Please say happy birthday to my mate. Oh, come on. You're an idiot, mate. You're an absolute idiot. Let me report it. That's been reported. Mark, are you going to United's US tour this summer? Also, what city are you looking forward to? If they're going to New York, I'm going. Caesar. And Mark, could you do a YouTube pay-per-view from Dublin? Living in Dublin but couldn't get a ticket. Would pay to see it live online. Please, says Marcus S. And I've done that one as well. Thank you very much for your chats there. People think Mark is stupid, says Andy. Yeah, I'm not. I went to Butlins as a kid, Zane. We didn't pay. We used to go in through a hole in the hedge at the back, Skegness. We were in a caravan park next to Butlins, and there was a hole in the fence. So we used to go in, walk around like we were meant to be there, going on all the rides, on the swimming pools. We were imposters. Yeah. Rio Ferdinand is a tosspot, says Mashup. Why? What's he done? And greetings from Peru, says Pancake. Well, look, we've spoken about it. If he thinks that Rice is a better option for Man United than De Jong, I mean, what is he on? Like, I think De Jong's better than Rice. Should we do a poll? Who's the better signing for Man United? Apparently Rio thinks Rice would be better. What I find hilarious about that is that Eric Ten Hag is obsessed with Frenkie De Jong. So, obviously, you don't agree with the manager of Man United if you think that Rice would be better. I mean, that's what you're contending with, isn't it? Oh, Ten Hag's doing a great job. We'd be better off with Rice than De Jong. I mean, we literally know he wants De Jong. What's your favourite FIFA team after United, says Morani? I don't know. I don't play it enough to know. Right, how many keep-ups can I do at half-time here? Let's have a go. Let's have a go. I'm going to use the Champions League ball because it's the Champions League. Has it got enough air in it? Yes, it has. Don't do it with that plastic bit on. Right. The Force. Use the Force, Luke. I'm your father. No, you're not. You're an arsehole, that's what you are. Have it. I can't believe I haven't used this as a lightsaber before. It's brilliant. I'm going to do that more. I want a pink one. I'll do that anyway. Anyway, let's have a go. Let's have a go. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go. 2. That's the worst I've ever done. That's the worst I've ever done. Oh, 16. Right, 3 lives. I'm not taking it seriously. Oh, I'm really not in the mood for this. Come on. Come on. 17, that's rubbish. Right, one more go. One more go. Ooh, 38. Just turn my bloody lightsaber off. You bloody prat. 38. I'm having that. I'm not having that. But I am going to have a little go at... get back on. Yellow lightsaber. That'd be good. Oh, that's... Mace Windu. If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine. We're going to need a bigger boat. That's the wrong film. Give me some Star Wars lines. I'm sure I've got a red one. Oh, I'm Darth Vader now. That doesn't look very red. I am your father. People don't like Star Wars. I'm going to stop. That's a green one. Oh, that's Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. Have that, Jabba. I could do that for hours. Goldbridge plays with his lightsaber. Not that one. Not that one. Right, let's come back to the chat. Would you recommend I become a member here or the United Stand? I can only afford one and I'm a United fan. David, I'll probably do it on the United Stand. And did you watch Rice in the World Cup? Strong, dynamic, good on the ball. I'd love him at Liverpool. Yeah, but he ain't Eaton. He's not as good as... He's not as good as De Jong. 84% of the chat agree. De Jong is better than is a better option for Man United. Take a seat, young Skywalker. Yes. There we go. That's from the Inquisition. Players are coming out for the second half here. Mark, what's the brand of the lead need to spruce up my home office soon? I don't know, mate. They're not easy to get. If you live in America, you can get loads of light strips and stuff. I can't remember where I got that from. Where's the controller? I've been expecting you. I should do that on every show. No, it's not got the brand on it. No. I don't know. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. We're very close to 925,000. We're only 20 away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Players are about to come on for the second half. What's your favourite Star Wars movie, says the Fraudimentary? Empire Strikes Back, yeah. I'm not a big fan of The Mandalorian, you know. I used to like The Mandalorian. I've watched the first 2 episodes and I'm like, it's very childish. And the problem is I like Pedro Pascal, I think that's his name. But I've just finished The Last of Us and he's so much better in The Last of Us than he is in The Mandalorian. If you've watched The Last of Us, comparing Pedro Pascal in that to The Mandalorian is like comparing Messi to Marcus Albrighton. Have I watched The Godfather? Come on, Ahmed. I'd be disgusted if I hadn't. I'd be disgusted. Anyway, players are about to kick off the second half here. Remember, we will do a Champions League live draw at 11 a.m. on Thursday. So you can on Friday, so you can tune in for that. Followed by, get ready for this, the Europa League draw on the United Stand. It's embarrassing, but presuming we'll be in it, I'm sure we will be. It's the opposite, really, isn't it? Man United are 3 goals ahead of Betis, so although they are at home, so you never know. Can I do a backflip, Ashton? Probably not in here. Tommy Duncan, thank you very much for your super chat. Madrid's pitch is awful, says Stephen. God, you're not coming up with excuses for... You're not a Liverpool fan, are you, by any chance? Oh, I've just seen that Steve McManaman's the pundit for... the what do they call it? The commentator for BT. Yeah, that's going on mute. He might have been a decent player, but I couldn't listen to him. It's hard to listen to Scouse. Kenneth says, Hadji or Stoichkov? Hadji. I loved Hadji. Stoichkov was brilliant. I actually think I'm probably in the minority there, but I loved Hadji. Oliver says it'll be 2-0 to Madrid this half. Watch. I certainly don't think Liverpool... you know why I think this is impossible? Because I think if Liverpool scored the first goal, Madrid would get offended. I don't think they get the second. What about Boba Fett, says Jeremy Allen? I mean, I only really like it when Star Wars, when Luke's in it. Brighton are still beating Crystal Palace 1-0, 13 minutes to go. And Southampton are losing to Brentford at the moment. Terrible result for Southampton, that would be. Good result for Brentford. Brentford are having a great season. I tell you what, that was a fantastic result for Everton against Brentford. Barmer's done it again. He's done it again. He's gone and gifted 20 now. He's on a mad one. Here's Salah. What a legend, Barmer. You basically took over the show. What would you rate that Messi 2011 final performance out of 10, says Fishy. Well, we were on the receiving end of it, weren't we? I think look, it's very obvious with I was having this chat with somebody a few weeks ago actually, so it's a good point to bring in here. It's very obvious with Ronaldo that he's not the player he was. Do you like Hell's Kitchen, says Zeta? I used to like it years ago, probably over a decade ago when it first came out. Here's Vinicius Jr. against Trent, just goes past him like fresh air. There's just literally no resistance, is there? Yeah, I think the thing with Messi and Ronaldo, well, with Ronaldo, he's clearly not the player he was. But the scary thing is that if you think about Messi in the World Cup, and he won the World Cup, how here's a great point. If Messi at his best is 100%, what was Messi at in that World Cup compared to his prime? Because I think he's miles off what he used to be, and he's still brilliant. But I remember Messi in his absolute prime, and he's way better than he was in that World Cup. And that that's age and everything, of course it is. But the scary thing is, Messi won a World Cup for Argentina, who was brilliant. But we mustn't forget just how bloody good they were. I mean, Messi in his absolute prime, terrifying. I mean, he literally could get the ball on the halfway line, and he had the pace and acceleration and close control. He could literally run through half a team. I mean, I say Messi won in the World Cup. You could argue that Martinez won in the World Cup. I mean, that save, virtually the last kick of the ball. Who was it who missed it? Was it Thuram? He must have nightmares about that. You could have won the World Cup. And then he went and won it on penalties anyway for Martinez, didn't he? No, it wasn't Thuram, it was Moani. It's Modric. I tell you the impressive thing about Modric for me as well is it's his acceleration. Because I think when you get old, you obviously become less mobile. But Modric over 5 yards, when he sees a gap, he's still as quick as he was 10 years ago. There's a nasty foul here. I don't know whether it's going to be a booking, but I think it's Benzema. Is it Benzema? No, it's not. It's not Benzema. I saw the goatee and I thought, it wasn't even that bad. I think he's just clipped him. Yeah, Purple Butterfly's right. Modric is just still crazy fast. Crazy fast. It's amazing. You'd still, is Modric leaving Madrid in the summer? Because I still think he could go and play. I mean, it's difficult. The Premier League is difficult to come. I wouldn't advise Modric coming to the Premier League. Not because he couldn't do it. I just don't know whether you can do it game in, game out. There is a similar tackle from a Southampton player on a Brentford player that Casemiro got sent off and nothing was given, says Milton Davis. Wow. People need to clip that up. Hanny says he's done it. No, you're not listening, mate. I'm not saying that Modric can't do it in the Premier League. I'm saying I don't know whether it would be a good idea for him to come and try and do it at 37. Because the intensity of the Premier League week in, week out, I just don't. I mean, I think he could give you 10. Here we go. Vinicius Junior into Benzema. Good defending by Van Dijk, but it's not great because it's still with Vinicius Junior, who is apparently offside. Love the content, Mark, on both of your channels, and big up to you and your team. Thank you, Barmer. Loving what you've done tonight, giving all those memberships, by the way. Appreciate it. Mark, as a Liverpool fan, I actually prefer when our rival teams are doing well, as it makes the games better and the league more exciting. What do you think? Says Tommy. I've enjoyed Arsenal doing well this year, in a weird way. I mean, I'd enjoy it if they got relegated as well, because it'd be funny, but... No, I think there's something really credible about Arsenal this year, and it's broken it up from the norm. Liverpool and Man City. Oh, lovely ball into Valverde. This should be a goal. Oh no, good save. Alisson's so good, isn't he? I know Liverpool have been crap this year, but he's mainly been very good. 2 saves. Osimhen scored again, 2-0. Now Salah's through. He's got to just slip it in. Oh, Salah. What a rubbish pass to Nunez. This game's open now. There'll be goals here. There'll be goals. What a keeper, says Morton. Tim says, Brighton and Brentford have surprised me this season, had low expectations and used their expertise to challenge for the European spots. And Osimhen scored again. Sign him when we have the league, says Thomas. I mean, can you imagine the competition that's going to be there to sign Osimhen this year, this summer? It's going to be huge, isn't it? But it's going to cost a lot of money as well. I want Napoli, you know what? I want Napoli to win the Champions League. I mean, you're basically adding value to a striker, but I'd love them to win the league. I mean, they're going to win the league in their league, of course. But I'd love them to win the Champions League. Mark, exact same challenge just happened in Southampton versus Brentford that Casemiro got sent off for. Check. VAR check, no red. I'm going to tweet it, don't worry. Hammy with the super chat there. CC says, I listened to Brighton's CEO on TalkSport today. Really impressed with how he spoke about their setup, objectives and future goals. I mean, it's very difficult. Hold on. Here's Vinicius Junior. Lays it off to Benzema. Good tackle by Trent. It's very difficult for a team like Brighton to continue to succeed. But I find it fascinating and amazing how, Potter did a great job there for a number of years. And they bring the Zerbe in, and he's arguably doing a better job. Listening whilst working in Little Rock, Arkansas, says Beryl. Hope you're doing well, Beryl. I think Brighton's problem is that they lose Trossard and everybody else leaves, and then Casido's going to go, and Matoma's going to go, and McAllister's going to go, and how do you just keep replacing those players? Firmino is coming off, and Firmino and Harvey Elliott are coming on. Jota and Nunez are coming off. I mean, is that not a weird double substitution there? Harvey Elliott and Firmino on for Nunez and Jota? Is that not defensive? Is that not Liverpool basically parking the bus? Or is it tactical? I don't know. I don't know why you take Nunez off. I don't think Liverpool have got a game at the weekend either, have you? Changing formation, says Chris. Corner to Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool have got a game at the weekend either. He's gone more creative, says Marvin AM. But Alex says they just don't want to get bantered. Top 5 worst accents in the world. Scouse number 1, says Mark. Mark, where do you live in Ireland? I don't. I used to live in Ireland. I used to live in Malahide. Cross comes in, headed away. Oh, Trent's terrible control, but they'll get away with it. I think there's a Madrid goal coming. Osman's got 2 goals, says Leonis. Mark, to myself, we have 2 options with Trent. Either sell him or move him up the pitch, says Nigel Jones. I think that there was always that opinion that Trent would move up the pitch, but do you think he's good enough to move up the pitch? I mean, he's had a bad season defensively, but he's not had a great season going forward. Madrid are going down easy, says Ian of Liverpool. Madrid are going down like a cold log on a hot sunny afternoon. Goes down easy. I could have done an X-rated one about a prostitute on holiday, but that would be filth. Lovely ball by Modric. Oh, remember that ball? Oh, I tell you what. One of the best assists I've ever seen. What's one of the best assists you've ever seen in Champions League football? Because that assist by Modric. I mean, Chelsea, we forget, Chelsea were going to knock Madrid out of the Champions League last year, and they deserved to do it. They deserved to knock them out. They did brilliantly, Chelsea, in Spain. And then that Modric assist changed the game. Absolutely changed the game. It was magnificent. It's many a year since I've seen something like that. Liverpool 0 trophies this season, says Abel. They have. Liverpool will win a trophy this season. Well, they'll win a cup. The old Red Men have printed off those 7-0 cups, so they've got that. They've got their 7-0 cup. That's their cup final this year, and they won it. So they've got the 7-0 trophy. Honestly, though, I still think they'll get 4th. I still think 4th is up for grabs. Did you win the Community Shield as well? Yeah, I've never counted that. I'd bin the Community Shield if it wasn't for charity. I don't even enjoy it when Man United are in it, which is not very often, to be honest, anymore. But when we used to be in it every year, it's just a glorified friendly, isn't it? Oh, they beat Man City, didn't they? They played quite well, and then they were crap in the league. Alisson's been brilliant this season for Liverpool. I think he's your player of the year. There's a lot of Liverpool fans who've travelled over there. I hope the weather was good. Mark, would you rather have Kim Min-jae or Timber, says Harvey J? I think I'd like Kim Min-jae, to be honest. Best assist ever has to be Rooney to Van Persie. Last game of the season against Villa, says Bradley. Yeah, but that wasn't the Champions League, and that's not what I asked. To stop changing the questions. If I said, what's the best Star Wars film, and you said Star Trek, The Search for Spock, that's not the question, is it? I'm selling my 2 Dublin tickets on adverts. Can't attend. It's Dylan McNeil. 20th is the date. Don't want them to go to waste. Sorry, can't go. Friend bailed on me, says Dylan McNeil. Okay. I don't really know what we do about that, Dylan. Is the 7-Up Cup bigger than the Bangkok Trophy, says Globetrotter? Does anyone want to buy Dylan's... I mean, I don't know how we do it, Dylan. Does anyone want to buy 2 tickets from Dylan to the United Stand live show next Monday, the 20th, in Dublin on the Liffey? There you go. I don't know how they'd get in contact with you, Dylan. Kaka for Crespo, says Tyler Redmond. How's career mode going? It went well today. Check it out on Twitch, Goldbridge TV. Nice ball, here we go. Real Madrid, here we go. Oh, Van Dijk does well. Stanislav Lobotka is the best CDM United needs, says Ian Reevy. And if you're calling the Community Shield a glorified friendly, the Super Club, isn't the Super Club classed as one as well, says Clayton Plays. I think the Super Cup is actually classed as something, isn't it? I don't think the Super Cup is like the Community Shield, or it used to be called the Charity Shield when I was growing up. It's just a charity friendly. It's a season opener, isn't it? And it's basically for charity. That's the great thing about it. The Super Cup actually has some leverage because it's the Europa Cup winners against the Champions League. So I think if you win the lovely cross, and Valverde just heads it over, probably a little bit high for him. I think if you win the Super Cup, that means something. Bowsider said he would buy those tickets. Dylan, I've just got no idea how you connect. If you're on Instagram, tell us your Instagram and then just check your DMs. I know you'll definitely sell them if you're at the Dublin one, because Dublin sold out in hours. Three 0 to Napoli. I tell you what. I'd say that the team that everybody wants to avoid is Napoli, because they're so good, in form, dangerous, don't give a shit. And they remind me of Ajax under Ten Hag that year they got to the semi-final. You don't really want to play Napoli. Did you hear the Premier League recon that Odegaard's foul on Ericsson shouldn't have been given, so now a push in the back isn't a foul? Joke, says Donny. And best assist, Ronaldo and Rooney versus Arsenal for United, says Miss. Yeah, that was a great goal. That if it's the goal I think you're talking about, that was just a great counter-attacking goal. It was brilliant. I tell you what, that would have been a very good goal as well. It was Modric's cross onto Valverde. It wasn't too high for him. He just headed it over the bar. Luke Adamson says, I'll take them off your brother and I'll pay over the odds. And crazy to think that Modric left Spurs at the age of 27 and won all of those trophies, says Eddie. Best thing he's ever done. Best thing he's ever done. I tell you what, I was looking on YouTube today, and got recommended to me actually, a bit like that video I was talking about. How's the game going, to Sasha? I've enjoyed it. I've actually enjoyed this game. I think it's been, as far as 0-0 goes, we've had some really good football. And it's been quite open, as you can see from the stats. I was on YouTube today, and it said the best 7 minutes of film ever. And I thought, I wonder what this will be. And it was the last 7 minutes of The Last of the Mohicans, which is one of my favourite films with one of my favourite soundtracks. And the last 7 minutes of The Last of the Mohicans, I would challenge anybody not to be moved by it. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable film from start to finish. But the last 7 minutes, the music is brilliant. And that's one of my favourite films, Last of the Mohicans, with Daniel Day-Lewis. The person who made it, Michael Mann. And I forgot he'd made it, because he also made Heat, which is one of my favourite films ever. 2 totally different films made by the same director. And I'm like, they're 2 of my favourite films ever, Heat and Last of the Mohicans. So I realised that today. It's probably the most boring story you've ever heard, but for me it was quite a big thing. It's like liking 2 really good songs and then realising they're sung by the same person. Is heat one of the reasons you wanted to be in the police, says Elijah? No, I'm not that thick. I didn't think I'd get to run around chasing bad guys with a semi-automatic weapon. When I was in the police, you basically chased them round with what was nothing more than a glorified hairspray. They call it CS spray or whatever, but it just makes your eyes sting. You know, have you ever done it with your deodorant, where you go to spray it under your arm and you spray it in your face? It's a little bit like what we had. You know, in America they've got guns. Over here we've got hairspray. It's 2-0 to Brentford, says Sophia. I say chasing the bad guys. You're probably not allowed to call it that. You know, chasing the people that could be bad but could also be innocent. Snowflake Britain. You can't call them bad guys. They might not be bad. They might be innocent. Okay, Europa League Casemiro to Ronaldo, says Ray Cowley. And Brighton are still beating Palace 1-0. They're in the 7th minute of added time. Massive win for Brighton if they get it. They would go level with Liverpool with a game in hand. 42 points. And they'd be 6 points off Spurs with 2 games in hand. Wow. Imagine if Brighton got Champions League football. I would dance around my garden with my top off. I would love it. I'm not even a Brighton fan. I would love Brighton and Brentford to get into the... Well, they won't get in the top 4, but you know what I mean. Great chance for Benzema here. He should be scoring that. He's gone high and he should have gone low. This has been pathetic from Liverpool, needing to score 3 to stand a chance, and they cannot even play attacking enough to score 1. Poor performance, says Mr. Nobody. I just don't think they're good enough. Did you ever watch Thief by Man with James Caan? It was his first feature as director. No, I've never seen it, Kenneth. Collateral is also incredible Michael Mann film. Is that the one with Tom Cruise in it? And I can't remember who else is in it. Mark, would you still love... Oh, what a stupid question, Ubermella. I'm not even going to read it. Brentford have won 2-0. Or is it like dating 2 girls and finding out they are from the same womb, says Yazza? Should Ward-Prowse stay with Southampton if they go down? Well, he won't do, Ryan. He won't do. Opinions on Chelsea versus Everton? I think Chelsea will win, DM. I don't think that's the sort of game that Everton are going to need to win to stay up. Home games. You can't call them bad guys. They're bad thems. Oh, God, Mark. We can't call them guys and we can't call them bad. We should call them thems who might have done something wrong but might not have done something wrong. Brighton have won. Brighton have won. Brighton are into 7th, joint 6th, really, with Liverpool. Got 2 games in hand on Spurs, and Spurs are in 4th. They play Brentford and Bournemouth, and then they play Spurs at Spurs. Oh, that's a 6-pointer and a half. You could argue they deserve top 4 as well. Brighton against Spurs on the 8th of April is going to be massive. If Brighton go and beat Spurs at Spurs, that game will be massive. Well, it would be over, but you know what I mean. Hi, Mark. Do you know if there are any tickets going for Manchester? I can't find any left. It says ads. Let me have a look. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Mama, hey, hey. Rock and roll is here to stay. It's a weird one. It won't let me buy 2 tickets, but it will let me buy 1. So you can probably get 1 ads. I'll drop the link in the chat because we have still got them for London. I think there's about 50 left for London because it's a bigger venue, which is London's 2 weeks tonight. I'll whack it in. You won't get them for Manchester unless you get 1, but you can get them for London. Do you think someone you have apprehended when you were an officer might now be a fan of your content, says Tyler Ball? I hope so. I mean, at the end of the day, you're just doing a job, aren't you? I was always fair. Fairbridge. What are the chances of Liverpool going through? They got no chance. That's what you got. You got no chance. Do you think City can win the Champions League? Yes, Tom. Why do you think I keep going at them? You don't talk about teams that are irrelevant. Like, I don't spend any time talking about Spurs winning the Champions League, do I? I mean, I know they've been knocked out, but I don't want Man City to win the Champions League, but obviously there is part of me that is... Oh, you're off. Harvey Elliott, you're gone. How is that not going to get looked at? That looks like a red in the Prem for me. That's wild. I want to see this again. Oh, no, it's not. I thought he'd caught him with the foot. It's not. No, it's not. It's not even a yellow, to be fair. I thought he'd caught him with his studs. Klopp's not happy. No point in getting animated now, mate. You're getting booked. I need a Driving with Goldbridge featuring Liam Gallagher, says TJ. Oh, mate, I'd love it. I'd love it. You talk about David Beckham being a hero. Liam Gallagher was a massive, massive hero when I was growing up. I told you the story, haven't I? I'm not from Manchester. I used to live in a rural town. Well, it was a village, really. It had 2 pubs, but it had 1 co-op, but it wasn't that big. And I never could grow my sides. I can't even do it now. So there used to be like little dangly bits of hair. If it got windy, I nearly took off. I had like quite long hair to there. I had the Liam Gallagher haircut, right? And I had the sides, but it was hair. It wasn't like my mate could do it. He had like bloody carpet down his face, but I couldn't do it. So I used to grow the hair. And you go to the hairdressers and they'd say, "Do you want us to cut it?" "No, don't go anywhere near them. I've grown them." And then you'd pull them down like that. But if it was a windy day, they'd go up in the air like that. They used to call me what was it? Oh, what was the name of that cartoon? Not Jimbo. They used to call me Jimbo. Remember that cartoon, Jimbo the plane? Jimbo, Jimbo, Jimbo. Pubs are more important than milk. Facts, says Logan. Yeah, pubs can. You don't always go to your pub, even if you're just going for a water. Never let pubs shut. You need them. Look up Jimbo on. But anyway, yeah, I used to walk around. I had like the Adidas Gazelles, the jackets with the high collars and stuff. I'd go down to the local co-op where Betty would be there. She'd be dead now because she was about 70 then. Well, she might not be dead. But she's dead. She wouldn't have lived till 100. You could tell. And I'd go, 20 Bennos, Betty. And she'd go, "What are you on about?" I remember when you used to do your paper rounds. You were such a polite young man. Why are you speaking like you got a cold? I'd go, "I don't know what you're on about." "What are you on about?" 20 Bennos. "What are Bennos?" "Betty, stop messing about, mate. I ain't got no time for it. Bet 20 Bennos. 20 Benson and Hedges, please, Betty." Betty's dead. Rest in peace, Betty. I mean, she was about 70 then, and we're talking 96. So, 20 I reckon she might be alive. She might be watching. 70 in 96. I thought she'd be long dead. So 27 years ago. 97. Nah, she's dead. She's dead. She ain't living to 97. And if she is alive, trust me, she was carrying a bit of... well, she was quite overweight. She was overweight. She'd admit it herself. Did you used to smoke? I did. I walk into the local pub and I'll go pint of Red Stripe. I don't know why our local pub had Red Stripe on tap. Like, it made no sense, but it had Red Stripe on tap. I loved it. I think I was the only person who drank it. And the only reason I drank it is because you'd see in the NME Liam with a can of Red Stripe. 20 bennels and a pint of Red Stripe. Rack 'em up, we're playing Killer Pool. Onto the jukebox. Oasis. That's it. Bit of Stone Roses as well. I dread to think how much it is for a packet of cigarettes now. Is Vinicius Junior? Oh, he's missed it. And Benzema. And he's onside. It's 1-0 to Madrid. It's there. Justice for Betty, says Mark. They've scored. 6-2 on aggregate. Let's have a look. Book the hotel. Yeah, Benzema's onside there. He's definitely onside there. There's no offside in that. Told you Madrid were going to score. They're just better than Liverpool. They're better than Liverpool. Fair play, fair bridge. Yeah, right. But you were like, are you a City, Liverpool or Arsenal fan? To bad. Here's a bill. Says Cullen. Oliver says one more and I guess the 2-0. Still time, mate. Still time. They're just... the thing is, I always begrudgingly acknowledged Liverpool over the last few years as one of the best teams in the world. Like last year, they could have won a quadruple. What they are now, I find myself wandering into it and saying, is it as simple as Mane? Is it that simple? And I don't think it can be. You can't say that Mane is the reason that they get dominated in the midfield. I actually think Fabinho and Henderson have fell off at the same time. Obviously, Thiago's never fit. I just think, as a United fan who's had to watch McTominay and Fred for a couple of years, one thing you can't do at this level is leave yourself weak in the midfield. And I think in the midfield they fell off big time. And teams aren't scared of them anymore. They're nowhere near as intense as well. They don't press teams the same way. Mark, Peaky Blinders or Game of Thrones, says Yazir. I used to love Game of Thrones, but the last season was shite. Be great if Liverpool lost by 8, says Mark. And Fair Bridge, I've done that one as well. Best assist for me, says Barmer, was in the Champions League. It was Roberto Carlos to Zidane in the Champions League final against Bayer Leverkusen in 2002. Why am I not picturing that goal? A few people have mentioned it, and I don't know why I'm not picturing it. But thanks for that, Barmer. We have had a poll, Hamish. We had it on Rice or De Jong. But if you don't suggest good ones, I can't do them. I've told this story before, but for newbies, right? So, anyway, I'm back down the pub. 20 Benos, pint of Red Stripe, rack 'em up, Oasis on the old thingy. Goldbridge wins at pool because I'm good at it. Rack 'em up, I'll get the pints in, lads. 2 pints Foster's for you, pint of Red Stripe for me. Get them in, our kid. Who's that? And then the barman would go, who's our kid? What are you talking about? Who's our kid? I'd go, come on, get them in. One for yourself, fella. And he'd go, you're lucky I'm serving you. I know you're only 16. Oh, come on, man. I'm only having a bit of banter. And anyway, I used to have these lighters that, you know, them plastic lighters. They're a bit like my lightsaber. You could get them in light blue, pink, orange. I come back from the bar, get my cigarette out, just about, you could smoke in the pubs them days, get like this, go to light it up, and the flame was that big. Because what you could do is you could take the metal bit off, lift the thing up, turn it, and just keep making the flame's normally about that big. Somebody took it off while I was getting the drinks in and adjusted it so that when I lit it up, the flame went that big. So I'm expecting it to be that big as I light my cigarette up. It was that big. Now, so I'm there like that, and it's going to go this high. My hair was like Liam Gallagher at that time. Singed my eyebrows and my fringe. Ran into the toilets. I was absolutely terrified, and although I stunk, like I imagine it's what it's like when you burn a, I don't know. Let's leave it at that. And all my hair, all my fringe was fizzy. You know when you burn hair, it was horrible. But I still had a smile on my face because my sides hadn't gone up. That was what I was worried. If they went up, they took me about 6 months to grow. But they were all right. Oh, the lads thought it was hilarious. I said it was. I went out and I wasn't even speaking. I was speaking normally now. I came out and went, you know what? That could have been really dangerous. And they were like, well, why aren't you talking like that anymore? I said, because it could have been really dangerous. Could have been really dangerous. You could have given me burns on my forehead. I don't like being the subject of banter. Tchouameni's coming on for Cruz here with 7 minutes to go. Those were the days. I'm half tempted to grow that hair back. I just think it looks silly. I see a lot of blokes in their like late 40s, early 50s who've probably dressed like Liam Gallagher all their life, and they still do it now. You see a lot in Manchester actually. They still walk around in their Adidas Gazelles with their hair down here and everything like that. And I'm just like, I don't know whether I want to be doing that at when I'm over 25. I just don't know. I might do it. I think Valverde's a fantastic player. You know, a lot of people talk about him on the United stand. I don't think he's a player that's ever going to leave Real Madrid. But, you know, the fact that he can play in so many positions. I mean, he's basically been playing off the right wing today, but I tell you what, last year I thought Real Madrid winning the Champions League was one of the most impressive runs I've ever seen because they played so many teams. They were behind, you know, they beat everybody, and it was such a team effort. This year, I think they look better. I actually think they look better this year. Doesn't mean they're going to win it, but I do think they look better. Luke Jones says, my auntie Betty used to work in the Plough in East Goscote and used to moan every weekend about the gobby lad with her hair glued to the side of his face. Yeah, I didn't work. That's not where I'm from, Luke. So you've made yourself look silly there. You're talking about somebody else, and you're making my hair sound like Bobby Charlton. I didn't glue my hair across. I've never had a receding hairline. In fact, it's receded now more than it did then, and I've still got a good hairline. What pubs are you going to go to on Monday, says Jeremy Armstrong. I know, what's it called? It's off Grafton Street. Is it Bruxelles? I know we're talking about going there afterwards. Because it's a late bar. I want to go to Sinnett's, Kian, but I don't think it's a late bar. I love Sinnett's. I like Mess and Maguire's on the Liffey as well, but I don't think it's called that anymore. It's going to be good. I can't wait for it. I've never done a live show before, so I can't wait. Well, I have done live shows, but not in Dublin. Yeah, Paddy's Day weekend in Ireland this weekend will be good, especially when you've got the rugby as well. It's going to be busy. That's going to be a busy, busy weekend. To be honest, I always liked Paddy's Day more when it was like on a Thursday because you could book Friday off. But I always quite liked it when it was on a Monday or a Tuesday. But when it's on a Friday, that's a big weekend. There'll be loads of people flying in as well. Would you ever dye your hair? Not now. Who scored, Mark? Benzema. Benzema scored. Thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight, by the way. I think it's been a... It's not had that edge of the seat knockout feel because it was an unsurmountable challenge for Liverpool. But in the scheme of things, it's probably reflective of where Liverpool are. They've tried. They're just not there. Wake up, Sally, I think I've got something to say to you. All right, smart arse. I know it's North Leicestershire. I just couldn't remember which village, so took a lucky punt, says Luke Jones. The Plough, there was a Plough in Cropple Butler, which was the next village to me, but I never went there. And I know there was a bar person at the Plough, and she had a reputation for giving you more than a drink. And what she gave you was cheaper than a pint. But I didn't drink in there. It'd be a bar them. It'd be a bar them now. Anyway, Mark, did Liverpool simply overachieve last season? No, Nigel. No. I mean, look. Let's be honest. Liverpool, plough by name, plough by nature. Yeah. I'd be worried if Betty at the Plough was doing the ploughing. That's called something else beginning with P. And it rhymes with egging. But anyway, on to lighter notes. Liverpool were not a one-season wonder last year. I think Liverpool for 3 or 4 years have been one of the best teams in Europe. It's like Ten Hag says, every team comes to the end of an era. This Liverpool team is coming towards the end of an era. That doesn't mean you need to change the whole 11. You just need to rebuild the team. That was my auntie Sweaty Betty. I've got 27 cousins, says Luke Jones. Come to Cockgrave and have some fish and chips at the precinct. I tell you what, that would be a walk down memory lane. Cockgrave used to be rough when I was a kid. Had a bad reputation, Cockgrave. I remember like my uncle was probably about I'd have been about, I don't know how old I was, but he just started driving and he was about 18 and he was going to get the fish and chips from Cockgrave, and my mum said, take the dog with you. And he says, what do you mean? She said, I always take the dog with me. He says, what, into the chip shop? No, she says, it's quite rough around there, so I always take the dog, I just leave it in the car. We go, what's the point in taking the dog and putting it in the car? What's it going to do? Bark at them through the glass? But it always had a bit of a reputation. I don't think it was rough, Cockgrave. I don't think it was. I just think it was a myth. Solly March scored in the 15th minute on the 15th of March, says Dane Grayson. It's a funny world. It's a funny old world. Oh, what a ball. What a ball. It could be 2. It should be 2. It's not 2. They want a handball. They're not going to get it. On Samiskus. Vinicius Jr. is convinced it's a handball. He's still saying it. He's still saying it. Let's have a look. It's a lovely ball. Cross comes back. Well, it hits his knee. and then it hits his arm. It's a little bit like Martinez, but it's worse. I don't know. They might give it. Is Klopp past it, says Ajit? No. That Carvalho from Fulham's not worked, has he? Hits his leg and then it hits his hand. They won't give it. No consistency, says Matthew. I don't think it's a penalty, but you never know in Europe. They're checking it. I think they might give it. Yeah, that Carvalho's not worked, has he? If they don't give the penalty, it's because they can't be arsed, because we're the second minute of added time here. Rio says he needs to play Carvalho more. He was very good at Fulham, but I mean, it's pretty irrelevant here. Jurgen Klopp's got a smile on his face. I'm looking at a Dublin ticket. Aaron.Chambers123. Aaron PTV1 says, I'm looking for a Dublin ticket. It's Aaron.Chambers123. Okay. He's going to give a penalty, isn't he? I mean, it's completely accidental, but I think in Europe they give these, don't they? Look, we had one against us, Sociedad, Martinez. It was nothing like that. And it still got given. I think he'll give it. I think he's going to give it. This is exactly what happened to Martinez in the Europa League, says Daniel. No, he's not. He's not giving it. Fucking hell. This is what we're on about, though, isn't it? The inconsistency. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but I just don't get. I don't get most of the bloody officiating. VAR is fine. It's the inconsistency. I want to buy Man United. Meet Rain Group in somewhere, says North Korea Fan TV. Leipzig are fuming. I can't believe he went to have a look at it. Surely VAR would have said, we don't think it is a penalty. If they're telling him to have a look at it, and then he goes, no, play on. No consistency. No consistency. I mean, it doesn't matter. They've just lost 6-2. That's the final whistle. Liverpool go out of the Champions League. They will not win any trophy this season, but they will win a cup. You can get them from Redmen 7-0 on a cup of tea mug against Man United. So they've got that trophy, but they won't be getting anything else. They've now got to try and fight for top four. That's what Liverpool's focus is now. But Real Madrid look very, very strong. I think we're blessed. I think this Champions League's looking really, really good. Man City looked strong last night. Napoli looked strong. Bayern looked strong. Real Madrid looked strong. And there's still 4 other teams that, could get in the mix. So, yeah, very, very interesting. And I think we're in for some really interesting draw. We'll be doing the draw at 11 a.m. on Friday. So join us for that. What's your favourite away ground to go to, says Zetti. I've always loved Goodison Park, and it's such a shame it's gonna close. This is exactly what happened to Martinez in the Europa League, says Daniel. Yeah, I mean, if that moment mattered, that's a ridiculous decision, but I don't think it really mattered. I don't think the ref gave a shit. Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. Daily content on That's Football, so get involved. And I'm sure we will do a watch along at the weekend. I'm just struggling to think about what we will do. But we will be live for the Champions League draw on Friday morning at 11. And obviously we've got loads of stuff to get involved with as well. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining. Always love the That's Football watch alongs because we wander into different chats, which is great. I'll speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching.